Hi everybody, welcome to Fabulous Living with Angela Jones. Today's show, I thought we'd do something surrounding home decor. I realized that I hadn't done anything on home decor yet. Just because, I'm a little particular and a lot of the things that I have ordered for my home have not made it here yet. So I wanted to kind of have like this fully styled, look to show you. And I thought, that's not where you are, Ange. So we're going to just work from where we are and we're going to just style things as we go. And I thought that would be a great opportunity to take you guys on this journey with me. So maybe I'll call it something like decorate with me or design with me, or I don't know. We'll come up with something cute and catchy to call it. But I just thought that as I'm going on this decorating journey, you guys can come along with me. So by way of background, I just moved into my place about 7 months ago. So I moved in the middle of the pandemic, which wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. It was different, but I did it. I've been living in my old place, not too far away from here actually, in a pre-war apartment. So this apartment, as you can see, and you probably have noticed when you've seen the show and seen my kitchen background, it's very modern. I wanted, sometimes you just need a fresh start. And in the middle of the pandemic, I'd already been feeling that way about my place, but I was like, it's time to do a little something different, and trust me, this is the antithesis of where I was. I was in a 75-year-old, beautiful older building, but it didn't have the modern amenities and, the square footage that I would like to have. And I was like, for a little bit more, I can get all of that and amenities galore and a concierge and all that good stuff. So it works out great, and it's still only 10 to 15 minute Uber ride from my office, which is great. So just to give you a little bit of background, I'm a DC native. I don't think I've ever shared that with you guys, but I'm a DC native, love the city, but I've always lived in the suburbs. I was born in the city, raised in the suburbs, and then of course, when, I was raising my son and all of that, it's just obviously better to be in the suburbs. Better schools, more places for them to run around. You have a house, a dog, all that good stuff. But when my son went off to college, I decided I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a shift. And I wanted to be, it was finally my opportunity to live in the city. So I came to the city back to the city rather, and I love the city. I love city living. Love it. I love that there's a grocery street across the street from my home. I love that there's a little town center right across the street with a liquor store and a drugstore and a donut shop and sandwich shops and all of that good stuff right here, like literally at my doorstep. I love that. So I love it. I don't have any complaints about living in the city. Well, I may have a few, but for the most part, I don't have any. So because I moved in the middle of Miss Rona, I've had a delay with getting things. Like the bed that I want has been back ordered since October. So I'm trying to decide, do I wait and see if it comes in stock? Do I buy something else? Because you do know the moment I buy something else, that bed's gonna come. So I'm just trying to decide what I'm going to do. I think I'm still going to hold off because I finally found something that I like, that I really like. So as I said a few moments ago, I knew I needed to do something with home decor because I didn't want you guys to think, oh, she's just kind of leaning towards more of the, the cooking and that kind of thing, because this is a full lifestyle show. But I didn't have everything all together like I wanted. I thought, wait a minute, Ange, you're about being real. Hey, I don't have everything all together, but you guys can go on this journey with me as I'm trying to, curate the look for my house and come together with a style and all that good stuff. Because let me just share with you, as I'm sure a lot of you have already learned, if we haven't learned anything during this pandemic, we have learned the importance of good health, our families, and how important home is. I think if you didn't have an appreciation for your home, I think people have it now. They've definitely gotten the memo that, okay, wait a minute, I didn't really spend that much time at home, and now I'm here all the time. So now there's a newfound appreciation for your home and decorating and all that good stuff. So I decided I'm going to start where I am, and if this is where you are, or you're just getting started on a decorating journey, or you're trying to, give your home a refresh because spring is around the corner, there's just some little things that you can do, and styling a coffee table is one of them. I find that the coffee table is often kind of overlooked. We kind of think of it for more practical purposes. Oh, this is where I just need to place a drink. Oh, this is where I throw the remotes, or what have you. But I think that the coffee table is an opportunity to have a creative moment, a styling moment. So what I'm going to be doing over the next, couple of months is taking you with me on my decorating journey, one, and then I also want to share with you how you can just start to style and decorate small spaces. Because decorating is overwhelming. If you try to take on that's why nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to take on a renovation project or think about, totally revamping their home and hiring an interior decorator or anyone like that, because it's a lot to take on if you take things in big chunks. But my thinking is that let's take things in small pieces. Let's decorate some small spaces, create some little vignettes, organize the pantry. Just little things that will bring you, a pocket of joy. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've been talking about that a little bit. I just think in general, we need to create pockets of joy and find those little moments that make us happy. And that's how you should feel in your home. Your home should be a retreat. It should be, a place where you can kind of get some peace, for real, from the world. So we're going to start off today and get this coffee table styling thing going. So I'm going to share with you today some tips to, kind of give you some guidance on styling your coffee table. And then I'm going to actually style my coffee table a couple of different ways so you can see how, which kind of look works for you. The other good thing I love about doing a small spot like this too is, perhaps you don't, because no one is changing their sofa every month, right? But a coffee table, you can easily change the look of a coffee table as often as you want, even if it's just by shifting some things around that you currently have, pulling other things from your home. So it's something you can easily style, and you can change the decor as often as you want because it's just a coffee table. So for starters, as I mentioned, I started from scratch with all my decorating when I moved here because, like I said, this place is totally different than my previous apartment because my previous apartment had more character because it was an older apartment and they had some modern finishes in it. But this place is very modern. But this is one of the pieces that I didn't let go of because I really like it. But I'm not sure if it's going to stay or not. Stay tuned. Of course, like I told you, I'll be updating you and letting you know of anything changes that I make and updates that I'm making, because it's a journey with decorating. You want your home to feel like it was curated over time, but like I said, you can still kind of make it feel that way even though you're buying all new things. There's a little, some nuances that can make it feel that way. So bench. It's different, but we're going to put some things on it to give you a flat surface like you would a table. For starters, before we even get started, your table should be anywhere from 14 to 18 inches from the edge of your sofa. So let's check and see here. And I need to push this back a little bit. Go back a little more, because you want to make sure you give yourself enough room for leg room. You want to be able for people to kind of slide in and out. So 14 to 18 inches, and that's perfect. 14 inches. So one of the first things, tip number one, is consider the function of your coffee table. Some people just want to style it and it's just going to look pretty and don't sit anything on it because I have it styled just so. That's not very practical, but some people may kind of want it that way, especially if it's a glass table. You don't really want anybody to kind of, mess around with it. You have everything just so, right? But then, you know, if you have children or that's just not your lifestyle to have something that you just look at, you want to think about, okay, I need some place for people to put drinks on it. It's really the only entertaining space I have. So if people come over, I want them to be able to put a small plate on it. Is it someplace where I need to lounge? For me, because mine is a bench, I often, to be really honest with you, I'm normally sitting at this end of my sofa with my feet up on this end. So I like to lounge. So my coffee table needs to be one in which I can also it can still function, you know, as an ottoman bench kind of deal. So first you want to definitely consider the function. That's really important. So you want to think about those things. But also, if you do want to have it all stylized and pretty, like I will have, once we finish this, it's going to be all stylized and pretty, right? But all I have to do when I want to prop my feet up is just, you know, move things down or shift things over, or put something over here on my media console. So there are always workarounds. So I ended up purchasing some coffee table books. And let me tell you that coffee table books are great because they are usually large books that are meant for the coffee table. Duh, coffee table books. Coffee table books. But they're great. You've probably seen some of them, the Tom Ford book, which I have in my cart on Amazon. You're ready to get that one. There's some wonderful ones I also have in my cart that are more focused on like black culture. So they're different, you know, pictures like from the 60s in black and white. There's one that has all these different black models from, you know, from the 60s, I think through the 80s, maybe even earlier than the 60s. But there's some really, really good shots in the books. So I have a number of different coffee table books that I'm going to be also purchasing some more. But I just got 7 and I thought this is a good start. But I want to get some more that are more reflective of who I am. Most of the ones that I have now are either about travel, home decorating, and I have this Valentino book that I have. It's all about like Valentino. It's about fashion. So mine are kind of a mix. But get books that you love that are a reflection of your personality. These all honestly reflect my personality, but I kind of feel like I want to get some more of the ones that are more surrounding like black culture because, you know, that's who I am, and that's also a big part of the direction that I'm going in my home. Little tip there. So that'll all tie everything together. So definitely a variety of different coffee table books are a good way to, for me, I think they're great decorating pieces, and they're inexpensive, and they're good bases. They're good foundation pieces for your table. So I'm going to stack, for this first look, just a few in the center. I have those 2 large ones in the center. Then I have 3 more that I'm just kind of put this way. So I have some with the spine facing outward, and then I have some with the spine facing this way. When you think about a coffee table, you want, no matter where someone's sitting, you want it to still be pretty. So, you know, I have these chairs over here. I have this little vignette here. But if someone's sitting over there, their eye's going to hit here, and they're still going to see the spine, the color, you know what I'm saying? I have a chair that I have over here in the corner that's like a little reading nook that I have here, and from there, you know, the eye hits the coffee table, and it still looks pretty and decorated, and there's some interest because of the way the books are positioned. So let me grab a few more books, and I'm going to put 2 more in the same fashion. So you want to make sure too, just a tip, if you're decorating with multiple books, that you have them in graduated sizes. You don't want, you want them to be slightly, each layer, you want each one to be slightly smaller than the previous one. You don't want to put a really tiny book on top of like this big New York book that I have. That'll just look weird. You want there to be balance. So that's one tip there. Well, a baby tip. That's not a number tip yet. So now I have like a foundation. I have a nice foundation to start saying, okay, now I can style it. Now I'll be really honest with you. This is already one look right here. Believe it or not. I've seen several coffee tables that don't have anything on it but the books. And then they may use the side tables to put some of the other elements that we're going to be talking about. They want to keep it really clean, or their books are such works of art, they don't want anything on top of them. So if you have some, really great books and you don't want to put anything on top of them, that's absolutely fine. If you're like, the cover is so stunning, why would I put, a tray or a candle or anything on top of it? You want to just display the beautiful covers? This could honestly work just the way it is, to be very frank with you. But we're not going to leave it there. But just so you know, if you have you want more of a clean look, you want more of a, more of a minimalist. Yeah, there we go. If you want more of a minimalist look and you don't want to have it over stylized, this could be something that you could do. Now, one thing also to consider too is the colors of the books. Sometimes people do these and their color scheme is all the same. Like it could be all black and white, or I've seen people do, especially if you're a single woman and you want to do everything really girly, so it's all pink and white or what have you. You can make sure all your books are that color, and that's really nice too and stylized because everything is all consistent. But for me, my home is all black and cream ivory with a little touch of gray, and then I mix metals, I mix golds and silvers together. So those are my other little kind of accents. So for me, my artwork that I'm pointing to this wall, because this is going to be where I have I have some artwork here, but I'm going to be putting some more here. But that's where I kind of go into the color. I want everything else to stay kind of neutral and clean and black and white, and kind of devoid of color for the most part. But then I add splashes of color on the walls, and that's what I did here with the coffee table books. I wanted to make sure that they were all very colorful because I don't really have a lot of color anywhere else. So this is where you can bring in your color through, accent pieces, pillows, artwork. Those kind of touches are where you can, your accent pieces, your decor, your other decor, that's kind of where you can go into color if you're like me and you wanted to say, I want to kind of keep everything kind of clean and, minimalist-esque, because I'm not a minimalist. But you kind of want to stay in that kind of vein, then you can incorporate the pops of color in other places. And honestly, I finally decided, sidebar, but related, that my home really needs to reflect the way I dress. I told you guys in black. I don't know if I've told you this. I may have said this in the styling over 50 show, that I love black. Black is my favorite color. And like I said, I will wear color, but I love black. As I told you, I like black and I like white. So that's why I said finally, my son is grown. I don't have to worry about a little person spilling, anything on the sofa or anything like that. I like everything I want it to be cream or white and black. And then, like I said, I can add the splashes of color. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. And like I said, depending on your style and what colors you have, you can decide to mix and match the books accordingly, or you can have the books kind of to really blend in with the direction of your home. But your coffee table styling should be an echo of the style in your home. You don't want something really off, like your home is really modern and then everything on your coffee table, they're all antiques. Like, that doesn't match. That doesn't go. You want everything to kind of flow. That's definitely what you want. So, have your coffee table books out. Tip 2, bring in something green. So you know me. So I went to the floral wholesaler this morning and I made this floral arrangement and I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be perfect for the show today. So have some fresh flowers. Flowers aren't your jam? Do something green. Do some kind of plant, or you can easily get some like monstera leaves or olive branches, any kind of green, something green. Even if you just did a vase and you just had a bunch of eucalyptus in it. You just need to have something alive on the table. So something green. You definitely want to bring in something green. So I chose flowers because I love flowers. Tip number 3, you want to select pieces of different heights. You definitely want to have things of different heights. So we had our flat surface. I have the flowers, so that brought in some height. Now I'm going to bring in some other things to kind of incorporate into the space. So I have this really unique, like prickly, porcupine-y, like decor piece. So I'm going to place that here. And I have a little tray, this cute little tray that I like to keep it on the table and have something here because normally at the end of the night, I end up at the end of the work day and I've eaten dinner, I'm gonna plop here on this end of the sofa and I end up falling asleep, of course. But right before I go to sleep, at some point, I have to end up taking off my jewelry, you know, so I end up placing everything on this tray before I, you know, so I can kind of get really comfortable. I take my earrings off. I'm not going to take my earrings off, but I normally take everything off and I place it here on the tray. So I need a little place where I can kind of, you know, stash my little, you know, my jewels. So on with, you know, finding some things of different heights. Speaking of stash, it's nice to have, I have a little box here that it's a mother of pearl little box. And in mine, this is where I keep my remotes because I kind of want them out of the way. They kind of mess up my whole little look that I have going on. So I like to have my remote stashed away. And then there's no more searching for the remotes. Where are the remotes? Where are the remotes? I know where the remotes are. They're going to be in my little box here. And then I also keep, and I moved it, but I keep a little bit of hand cream in here because sometimes, you know, you're sitting around and you're looking, you're like, oh, I need to, you know, because we're washing our hands so much. I normally keep like a little tiny little tube of hand cream, but I think it's over at my desk area because I pulled it from over there. So that means I need to get one for over there. And I have that there. And then sometimes at night, just because, you know, the air is dry, you're sitting at home a lot, right? I like to keep my Hurrah, which is a lip balm that I love. And I keep one of those in here too. So if I don't want to get up, because by the time the day is wrapped up, I'm feeling really lazy, especially if I've already eaten. So I want everything right here at my fingertips. So we'll place that box here. So see how we're already starting to kind of come up with, we're getting a little look here. If you see the direction that we're going in. So it's coming together. Next, a candle, because I love candles and candles smell amazing. So I always have a candle. We'll place the candle here. And then we'll also, I'm gonna put these coasters here. Because let's be practical here. It is a coffee table, so you're gonna wanna rest your drink at some point, or if guests come over, you want them to know, don't put your glass down on my pretty coffee table books. Use a coaster, please. So, yeah. So we have that here. And this, everybody, I just pulled all of these things from different places I had in my apartment. So, and it pulls together a nice look. And a good test too is to stand in front of your table and look down on it, like an aerial view. And you want to look at it and see, okay, that is a pretty pulled together look. So that's definitely something you want to do. Stand above it and look at it. And then you may need to make some adjustments. You know, you may say, maybe you want to put those three together. Maybe you want to just keep the porcupine decor thing. You want to put that little decor piece, that decorative object, like right in the center of the books. And you may want to turn it in a different direction. I kind of think I like it that way. But you have a little style moment right there, which I think is fabulous. I love that. And another thing, you can also take the books and you may want to turn it this way so that anyone sitting this way can see the titles. Yeah, you can do it that way and have the spine outward, that's fine. I'm sorry, not the spine, but have the pages facing outward, and then put everything back. But that could work. You can also put, a small picture. That could be added here, and I may end up doing that at some point. But I kind of like the way it looks just as is. I kind of like it. Now, rule number 4 is you want to consider scale. See, you want to think about the size of your table. You want to think about, if you want to do something like taller, you don't want anything that's too tall that's going to obstruct the view, because I have a television here. But if you're in a room where, if you're in a formal living room, and I know a lot of people don't have those anymore, but if you're in a formal living room, you don't have to worry about obstructing the view. You could go with something taller and grander here if you wanted to. So that's something to consider too. But you also don't want anything that's going to be too overpowering for the table. This table is long enough that it could probably handle something taller and more substantial. But you definitely want to make sure that you don't have anything that's too off scale, because then it'll be off balance. You want to make sure that things are in proportion. Like for instance, if we were going to do something a little taller, we could do an orchid, which is my other go-to. And that looks nice. Excuse my little orchid. She lost some leaves today, and I was like, I don't have time to go out and get another one. But those two are holding on, so there really weren't that many more on there. You know how orchids are. Sometimes they're hit or miss. But anyway, you can make an orchid work. You can definitely make an orchid work, and that's a little taller. Maybe turn it this way so the leaf is facing out. You could have some matches here, your wick trimmer. Say that fast 3 times. Your wick trimmer for your candle. You can have that here, or maybe on a nice little tray. I have one that's eventually supposed to be coming, so you'll see that when I restyle it again. But yeah, but you're getting the idea, right? That just slight little changes can switch up the look. So I'm gonna put this back because clearly these are my favorites. So I'm gonna put them back. So tip 5 next is add a tray, because sometimes you're like, I don't know about all those books, and that's not really my thing. But you can use a tray to corral everything. I don't know why I'm trying to put that back on. So we're gonna take everything off. And we're gonna style everything on a tray. Now for starters, I wanted to show you a longer tray. And then we're going to go down to a smaller tray. So we have this longer tray. It's something else that made its way from my old place. You know, it's practical. I like it. And I said, let's just keep it. And it's been working for me for now. So this is actually what I've had on my table since I've been here. But like I said, it was just time to judge things up. You know, spring is about, you know, renewal. And you want to just do something different. And like I said, until everything comes together and I find all the pieces that I want, or they finally come in from being, you know, on back order, I'm going to style and decorate what I can. So this tray made the cut. So let's show you how we can style this. So for this, we're going to use a few, let's try these same books. Let's see if these are going to make it. Yeah. So we can style those there. Put our flowers up. And then it just kind of corrals everything and keeps it all together. You have your box there, and then you have your tray for your remotes and whatever you feel like you need to have easily on hand. And then that's a look. You know? That's a really cute look also. Everything looks together. You still have some room, like if you're like me, because this is what I typically do, is I end up sliding it down. And then, you know, I can still kind of put my feet up and enjoy a TV show. Right? So place it right there in the center and you're all set. So it works great. I love it. I love that look. It's very simple, but it still looks together and everything is corralled on the tray. But let's say you're like, that's still a little too much, Ange. Okay, no problem. Then we can move to a smaller tray. And again, these are all things that I just happen to have here at home that I use to pull this together. Like I said, because all my things haven't arrived yet, and some things I haven't decided on. But we can still create a look, like I said, with what we have. So here, I have these 3 books. I'm gonna kind of, if you say, okay, Ange, that's all cute and everything, but that's just too much for me. We'll just use a round tray. Maybe we'll put, you know, the little trinket tray there. And then we'll put the candle here. And you have a look there. Just to show you what that looks like from that side. Yeah. And just do that there. And we have a whole little look. That is the perfect simple. If everything else is like too much, I just feel like at minimum, you should have something green. You should have a book or books and a candle. So if you don't remember anything else from this show, or if everything else is like, I'm doing the most for you, at least you can create a moment just with this. And look how simple that looks. It looks great, and it's not even a lot that you have to do here to make it look really stylish. And it looks like that you put some thought into it, and not just kind of threw things together. Which brings me to my next tip, number 6, which is group things in 3s. It's a design principle that I actually learned when I was going through my home staging certification. You want to group things in 3s. 1, 2, 3. something tall, medium, then a flat piece. And this could even be like a small bowl too. So you want to make sure you're either grouping things in groups of 3 or in odd numbers. So that's just something to keep in mind. So yeah, so there's another look. And I wanted to do one more look to show you. Just, let's see here. Well, actually, then that's a look right there, too, with that, and then with the flowers. That was the other one I wanted to show you. See how that can even just be like a nice, simple look, and you can just kind of tilt the books at different, angles, and makes it, fan them out, so you kind of adding a little bit of flair to them. And you have a little moment there. That's what I wanted to show you. So many different ways that you can style your piece, and it still comes together and looks cohesive. It looks like, that's not much, right? Let's just go back. It's a tray. Oops. All right. It's a tray. Books. Fan them. Trinket tray, or a little bowl, or a little decorative object, but remember, keeping scale in mind. Candle. And then, just switching from the last look with the flower, with the orchid, and doing something like that. Which works, right? And you've got you have a little stylized moment. I know I keep saying that, but it's a style moment. Take advantage of those in your home. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Like today, all I did was buy these flowers. I had everything else at home. Everything else I already had. So just think about things that you already have. Candles, decor items. It could even be, honestly, it could even be a vintage necklace, and you kind of drape that through the, intertwining like here in between the flowers, and you kind of have it draped down, or have it coming out of a small bowl that you put here instead of the trinket tray. There's so many different things that you can do to make your space, even a small space, look elevated. Another thing that you can do too, which is not my thing, but you can, if you're a collector of different items, you can also use your coffee table to display some of your items. Now, one thing that I would just make sure you're being mindful of is you don't want to overcrowd the table, because you do still want to be able to have some in a, white space, if you will, on the table. You still want to see the table, so you don't want to get too carried away with too many collectibles or tchotchkes or anything like that, especially little smaller things. That's where a tray is also helpful too, because it'll help you to kind of group things together and to kind of corral things so you don't have everything kind of spread out over the table, if that makes sense. So that is what we're doing here with the table. Let me tell you another thing here. This is obviously a rectangular shaped table. But if you have a square coffee table, what you want to do is you kind of want to work in quadrants. So make sure you're decorating in quadrants. You may want to have the flowers on one side, and then some books with, a candle and a little trinket tray or something on another one. You want to have something else in the other quadrant. You kind of want to decorate each quadrant, not overly dress it, but just have little areas where each little section of the table is is being highlighted. If you have a round table, typically with a round table, you want to make sure you're decorating, everything that you're decorating is in a triangular form. You want to make sure everything is in a triangle. Your flowers or your plants, your books, everything is kind of stylized in a triangle for a round table. Guys, I think that's it. I think that's it for our table. I think we're set. So as I said, I'm going to be anxiously awaiting the arrival of my pieces, and as things change, I'll keep you posted. Like I said, I'm still deciding on the table, or if this ottoman is going to stay. I have a feeling it might go in another space in my place, or maybe in my storage unit, because I have a few things there. I'm not sure, but stay tuned. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I love doing this kind of stuff, and I'm really excited about you guys kind of coming along with me as I'm pulling together all the pieces that are going to really make, my house a home. So more to come. But in the meantime, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please definitely let me know. I would love to hear from you. I respond to everybody that comments on my channel. I would love to hear from you. And just get your ideas and tell me some of the things that you'd like you'd like me to talk about. Happy to do that if it's something that I can speak on, of course. But anything in any of those, areas, I would love to chat with you about that. So, and share what, my take on things and how to make it fabulous. So, anywho, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon. Ciao.